Greetings, adventurers, and welcome back to Abnormal Voyages. My name is David, and today we find ourselves in Ottawa, Kansas. Specifically, we are at the Plaza 1907. We are here at the world's oldest purpose-built cinema. We're going to go inside and learn all we can about a little movie magic. Tag along.
We're going to a place that you've never heard of before. It's Abnormal Voyages. You're gonna learn something new. We're gonna open new doors. It's Abnormal Voyages.
So this theater has actually been here since 1907. Definitely a long time. Let's dig a little bit more into the history of this gorgeous theater. First, I wanted to show off this Guinness World Record certificate that shows they are indeed the oldest purpose-built cinema in operation. They actually beat out one in Denmark by just a couple of days. Here are some older pictures of the theater. The Plaza looks very nice, very similar to how it looks today, really. Now, it used to be the Crystal Plaza Theater, so the name has changed, but they continued operation that entire time and have been showing movies for over 100 years. On the walls, they're showing some of the highlights and famous movies that have graced this theater throughout its century of operation. And there are a lot of news clippings from times that the theater was mentioned. Here we see that the area has definitely evolved a bit from what it used to look like, but really not too different. You still kind of got that same style going on. I really like that they took the time to preserve these pictures to give us a little peek into the past. And here we have the state of Kansas officially recognizing the Plaza Cinema as a historic place for the great state of Kansas. But if you turn a little bit from this, you will see an active snack bar for theater goers to come in and enjoy to this very day. So we've already seen some pretty cool stuff, but the real crown jewel is back here. They have an entire back warehouse that is filled with some really amazing movie memorabilia. Let me just get the lights and we'll check it out. Now, the things you're gonna find back here span all of movie history. You've got things going back decades and decades, and then some more current movies. So honestly, any fan of cinema is gonna find something here to absolutely fall in love with. I thought this was incredible. This is an actual film strip from the original King Kong. Like, that just blows me away that that even still exists and that I get to see it here. Another King Kong related prop that is just incredible to see in person. This is an actual piece of the styrofoam that was used in creating the dinosaurs in the movie. Oh, super cool. We then move from giant gorillas and dinosaurs to the Old West. They got a section here dedicated to the Duke, John Wayne himself, including some costume props from some of his movies. For example, this was worn in his movie The Alamo, something you should never forget. But maybe you're not into westerns, maybe you prefer sports movies, in which case we have this costume piece for the Allenville Penitentiary, which was, of course, the setting of that great football movie, The Longest Yard. Then this gorgeous red dress that was worn by one of the citizens of the Capitol in the original Hunger Games movie. I believe that this was worn during the parade sequence when everybody's coming in and the crowd is there, all hyped and ready to see the tributes go off. This one was very neat. This was an actual suit of armor from The First Knight, starring Sean Connery. I've never seen the movie myself, but after looking at this, I think I definitely will have to check it out. I'm a pretty big fan of that kind of medieval era. And speaking of armor, They have some really neat Roman-style helmets on display. These were actually used in Cleopatra way back in 1917. Here's a picture of the scene these were in. Very old helmets. And then rocketing forward, we have autographs from the original author and editor of the book The Martian that would go on to be a movie starring Matt Damon. This next piece is a little gruesome, but this is a shirt worn by Denzel Washington in the Book of Eli. And as you can kind of see, things didn't go too well for him in this scene, and he did get shot, but still a neat costume piece to have on display. Then we go into the wizarding world with the very first Harry Potter movie, and they have a genuine box from the wand shop Ollivanders. This was used in the filming, and I love how ornate that label there is. Very magical. Next up, we have the Pirates of the Caribbean franchise. Specifically, we're looking at movie number 4 on Stranger Tides, where we have this assortment of bottles and a couple of bones and other interesting props that were used in the movie. Don't worry, they say none of them is cursed, but maybe don't pick it up if you see them. And then the swashbuckling continues with this very dashing outfit that comes to us straight out of the Three Musketeers. There's been a lot of adaptations of this, but this one in particular was pretty good.
Here we have some pieces from 2 of my personal favorite franchises. We have some original work for Star Wars over here, and this is back when the episode 6 was going to be called Revenge of the Jedi, which of course was later turned to Return of the Jedi. And then on my left we have Indiana Jones, including an actual sword that was used in the movie. Pretty cool.
Now specifically, this sword was used in Temple of Doom, as you can see by the giant poster here. And then they've added a little bit just to give it some character. We've got a skull, some books, a nice chest there. And of course, on the wall you had to have a whip and hat. Now we turn back over to the Star Wars wall. We have some blueprints of the Millennium Falcon. This is really cool. This is a call sheet from the actual filming of Return of the Jedi. And then back over here, we have one of the original scripts of Return of the Jedi. So very neat seeing this, potentially one of the most famous franchises in the world. Very cool to see it here in this little tucked away section of Kansas. They certainly did a great job of grabbing a lot of different genres. They even go all the way back to classic movie monsters. Here's some behind the scene photos and promo stills from the Creature from the Black Lagoon. That is quintessential movie monster. So very cool seeing him here, one of the original Universal ones. But if you like your villains a little more modern, you can switch over to Angelina Jolie playing Maleficent, and they have some of these dishes that were at the party scene in the castle where she originally curses Aurora. So yeah, very neat. There's tons to take in here. Just being surrounded by history and in such an old building, there's really nothing like it.
Of course, before there can be a movie, there has to be a script. And they have a great collection of original signed scripts from several classic movies. And I wanted to point out this script here from the amazing sports movie Rudy. And as opposed to being signed by, you may think, Sean Astin, who played the main character, no, instead, this is signed by Rudy himself. He was actually an extra in the movie, so it's really neat that he signed this, as the movie is all about him.
As someone with a background in writing, I will always have a soft spot for those who craft the scripts and put it together that becomes the movies that we get to see. This is a really great collection of signed scripts, and honestly, this entire museum is just mind-blowing. Again, to find here in the middle of Kansas, somewhere you would never expect it. And yet, amongst everything, here it is, a gleaming beacon of wonderful stories for the world.
Well, that's all the time we have for today, adventurers. If you enjoyed this, make sure you hit that like button and subscribe. It always helps us out. My name is David, and this has been Abnormal Voyages. We'll see you at the movies.
Thanks for watching Abnormal Voyages. Thanks for watching.